Hi, everybody. I am Christy Hudson with Cover Health USA. I'm also the member at large for the leadership work group or the leadership committee of the Chiropractic Future Strategic Plan. And if you don't know what that is, you should definitely check it out. Learn more at www.chiropracticfuture.org. And today I am interviewing our work group chair, Dr. Jay Greenstein, for CTC. Dr. Jay, can you tell us what CTC is?
Yeah, Christy, great to be here. Thanks for spending time with me today. CTC is the acronym, because we have lots of acronyms in chiropractic, is the acronym for ChiroTech Consortium. And as we were building out the plan with our amazing facilitators and amazing chiropractors and other folks who are on these work groups, we realized that we needed a work group specifically dedicated to helping our profession leverage technology and become more information enabled. And so the CTC was born, and I'm humbled and grateful to be able to chair this work group with my good friend, Mr. Brad Cost from Infinity. And we've made amazing progress in the last couple of years.
Yes, y'all have. So, one of the things that I love to talk about when it comes to the strategic plan is why should people care? And most specifically, really, why should technology companies within chiropractic care about what you and CTC are doing?
Well, they should care because we are very interested in working together, collaborating, and leveraging every technology that's available in order to elevate the chiropractic profession. And I think historically, and I think the technology companies that are listening to this would agree, chiropractors are technology laggards. They've been behind. We collectively as a profession, we've been behind. We see what's happening in medicine, we see what's happening in physical therapy, and we're just behind. And so the idea that we can start to really harness the power of technology, data analytics, uh, data science like artificial intelligence and machine learning, um, will help us really elevate the profession, and most importantly, elevate and exponentially drive greater impact for the patients that we're serving. So I think they should definitely care, because we are moving, we are making progress, and we want as many technology companies that are in chiropractic to work with us and find ways to collaborate. So a rising tide literally raises all ships.
Now, really, since CTC has been established, you've already partnered with several different technology companies within our profession. What are some of the ways that they're helping you help the profession?
Great question, Christy. So again, we've been very fortunate because we've had a lot of people giving a lot of time, like yourself, and a lot of resources. But one of the companies that has actually given millions of dollars in development costs is Infinity, Brad Cost. And Brad, if you don't know, he runs the best clearinghouse in chiropractic, and he's got 20,000 chiropractors on his platform. And he's also got a data and analytics company that is the sister company to Infinity. And so what Brad has been able to do with his programmers and his data scientists is to take all of that claims data and organize it in ways that even non-chiropractors and non-technical experts can understand, to be able to identify how payers are paying us. So we're calling this the reimbursement dashboard platform, and we're able to see all kinds of important analytics that really can help identify where payers are robbing us, being unjust, and also help providers understand where maybe themselves or maybe a member of their team might be dropping the ball that's negatively impacting their cash flow and their profitability. So Brad has made these reimbursement dashboards, which are beautiful. The user experience is tremendous. Made these available to every single state association in the country for free. That is just who Brad Cost is. And so we've had multiple conversations with multiple states around payer abuse and being able to leverage the data and the technology that Brad has built to fight these fights and win. And that is just the beginning.
And I love that you talk about that, about fighting those fights from payer abuse and winning, because we both have a mutual friend at a state association, and her doctors were absolutely the victims of payer abuse. Now, when they were going through this process was during the building of those reimbursement dashboards, but Brad and Jay both worked with her, provided her the information she needed, and they went all the way to the Department of Insurance, and their state Department of Insurance forced them to pay the chiropractors for all of those claims that were denied. And a lot of that information was used to build that first version of the payer dashboard because that's the information our state associations need to help their doctors get paid for the work they do.
Christy, it's an amazing story, right? And it's justice, and justice is important. We for chiropractors who are out there listening to this, and even the vendors, the technology vendors that are watching this, we know that we've been, abused, and I don't think abused is a strong enough word. We are mistreated. We have discrimination that we have to deal with. Medicare is a perfect example. But payers take advantage of us because we have not been, one, aligned, and two, organized, and three, information enabled. And what the Chiropractic Future Strategic Plan is doing, it's aligning us, it's organizing us, and then now we're leveraging technology through the CTC to make us information enabled so we can fight the fight because we know exactly what's happening to us. Can you imagine if every single chiropractor had to look at their paper EOBs or even their ERAs and be like, something's going wrong here. I think I'm going to submit a complaint to the X state association or X, whoever the state is, their board of insurance, Department of Insurance. It's like these one-offs aren't going to help, but aggregate data demonstrating clear patterns of abuse, you can't argue with. And so this is just the beginning. Yeah.
And you've actually and you spent years going into meetings with insurance companies for years, battling these issues that you see across states. And up until now, until the reimbursement dashboard came out, really it was up to doctors to report these issues to their state associations for them to even be aware that there was a problem. And there's a lot of paper gathering that a lot of times those battles were hard fought because they would always say, well, the insurance companies would say, well, our data doesn't support what you're saying.
Right.
And then we didn't have the data to say, but here it is. But the great thing is now there's the data, and that's what helped this one state win their battle with an insurance company, and their Department of Insurance backed them up and said, you guys are wrong, give them their money.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And it's just the beginning, Christy. It is just the beginning.
So we've just talked about one thing that CTC has accomplished in just the few years that the Chiropractic Future Strategic Plan has been started. But what else have y'all accomplished?
Well, I'll tell you what, we are working on the second version of our reimbursement dashboards, and that will provide the use of artificial intelligence to automatically notify states and or providers when there is an insurance outlier payment. And so we're going to have a much faster way to aggregate and identify when when the insurance companies are not paying on their patients correctly. So that is in process. The second thing that we're doing, we are collaborating with the research work group, Heidi Havoc, Katie Pullman, Eric Kirk, and the rest of that amazing group. They are just rock stars. They are doing so much to support the plan. We are working with them to create and build a data lake so that we can aggregate data from a wide variety of sources. And then the research can go in and actually identify queries. They can ask research questions, do the queries, and ultimately pull that data so we can get answers much faster. A randomized controlled clinical trial costs millions of dollars and takes years to do. With a snap, literally a click of a button, a snap of a finger, click of a mouse, we can query data once this data lake is built. And within minutes, if not hours, we can have information at our fingertips that will allow us to identify statistical correlations around a wide range of clinical, demographic, and financial variables. And that's the goal. Now, this is going to take years to build, right? This is not a snap of a finger. It's going to take a long time to build. However, the collaboration between research and technology has never happened before like this. And we are extremely excited and really humbled to work with this amazing research work group. So that's another thing that we're doing. Third thing that we're doing is we're working with Dr. Don Reno and their amazing work group, which is government affairs. Lori Grassi and many of the other folks on that work group have just been leaders in our profession, changing policy, especially as it relates to legislative and regulatory language around reimbursement. We want to do the same thing. We are doing the same thing with government affairs, where we are building legislative dashboards so that we can see at our fingertips what's the pro-chiropractic legislation across the country that's worked. What is the legislation that is being proposed in state and federal legislatures that might negatively impact us, so that we can look at that at a fingertip and a mouse click or a finger snap or whatever, and we could see it right away. But also what we're ultimately going to be able to do is identify how our elected officials are actually voting in aggregate. Are they voting pro chiropractic? Are they voting anti chiropractic? And how do we need to take and leverage our patient bases, millions and millions of people in these representative districts, and have them turn on the vote for these people who are voting pro chiropractic, or turn off the vote if they're not voting pro chiropractic. So it's about creating leverage. And we can only do that with aggregate data, artificial intelligence, and the right messaging to help providers and patients understand how we use this information to create change in the world.
Finally, what can people do to help support the initiatives of the CTC and helping to execute the chiropractic strategic plan?
I think there's three ways, Christy. The first way is just go to chiropracticfuture.org and just read what's been done. There's some shorter documents that kind of summarize what's been done, and there's longer documents that give a tremendous amount of detail, the entire process from beginning to where we are today and where we're going in the future. So step one is get informed. The second step is get involved. Like, if there's something that you're passionate about, like, reach out to the work group chair and say, hey, I want to join a call. I want to learn more about what you're doing and leverage my skill set, my talents, my genius, so that I can help move that part of the plan forward. And three, listen, we're always looking for funds. Like, we're all volunteers. We don't get paid to do this job, but it still takes money to execute research. It still takes money to build dashboards. So, if people are willing to give $50 a month, which is an adjustment, literally one adjustment a month, probably in most practices, if they could just donate that, and we had 60,000 chiropractors doing that across the country, we could execute on our goals so much faster. Our budget is $12 million, right, over the next 3 years. Is that correct, Christy?
It
Because
is.
you know this data better than I do. Like, if we just had every chiropractor donating $50 a month, we would reach our goals so much faster.
Oh, absolutely, we would. And here's how I think about it is you're donating one adjustment a month to invest into the future of our profession,
Yeah.
which is hugely powerful. Now, if I'm not a practicing chiropractor, I'm a vendor and I want to get involved. How can I help?
The exact same way, right? Be informed, go to the plan site, review the plan, get involved, because we're doing this with you or without you. So if you want to be part of this party train, I highly encourage that you get on now. We have reached out to many technology companies. Many are joining our calls. Many are staying involved. And so don't delay, because you don't want to get left behind. We'll always include people, but if you want to have an opportunity to participate in the direction of the plan, it's much easier to get in early than it is late. So step number 2, get involved, at least join one of our meetings, and we do them twice a month. 3, if you have the ability to donate, maybe it's a percentage of your sales in a given month, or maybe it's $50 a month. Like, I don't care. Whatever you can do to help support the plan financially, we would really appreciate it. So that's it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. J, for taking time to explain more about the CTC and the great work that is being done there. And just a reminder again, go to the website chiropracticfuture.org. You can also download an app where you'll get push notifications with
Amazing app.
updates. Yes, from all of the work groups, so that you know what's going on in research, government affairs, interprofessional communications, what we're saying to the public about the work that is being done. And remember that whether you're investing your time or your money, you're investing into the future of your profession. Thanks, y'all.